Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Zach. I'm a brand strategist, videographer, and photographer, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my process in DaVinci Resolve for how I create selects so that I only have access to the footage that I'm going to use whenever I am going to actually work on the main video edit that I'm working on at the time. So if you're not familiar with what the term selects means, it's often used in the photography and video industry for the process of culling down photos or videos. So when you're on a video shoot or a photo shoot, you shoot a lot of photos and you shoot a lot of video. So the process of creating selects is going through all of your footage and only keeping what you're actually likely to use for the main edit, whether that be a video edit or a photo edit. So now with that understanding, I'm going to show you how I create selects in DaVinci Resolve using a couple of the built-in tools. So if we take a look at the screen, this process is going to assume that you've already imported your footage into DaVinci Resolve. And so that's why you see all of these clips already inside of DaVinci Resolve. So all we're going to be doing is we're going to go through each of these, and I'm going to show you the process of creating these selects and then also how to stack your timelines, well, how to create another timeline for your main project and stack it either above or below your selects timeline so that you can basically drag and drop footage from your selects timeline so that you're only seeing the footage that you'd actually like to use. So let's go ahead and get started. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new timeline for my selects. So all I'm going to do, I'm in the cut tab right now. If you want to follow along with where you are currently, I'm just going to navigate backwards to my different folders so that I can create a new timeline. So this is the root folder of my organization system. So this is where I'm going to create a new timeline. So I'm just going to right click and click on create new timeline. You can also press Command N depending on how your keyboard shortcuts are set up. And then once I've gotten that, I am going to name this selects. You need to be really careful with this check mark at the bottom left of this screen that says use project settings. If you've configured your project properly and you've already understand what frame rate you set it up as and all that good stuff, you can use this check mark. But if not, it's safe to uncheck it. That way you have access to the format tab so that you can see the resolution of your timeline. So make sure that this is set up for the resolution that you'd actually like to use. You can click vertical resolution if you're editing for something like TikTok or something like that. But I really usually don't use this for the process of creating selects because I always shoot horizontally in 16:9 ratio, and so I like to see my footage as a whole in a normal 16:9 resolution. So, but here's an example. I actually shot my footage in 23.976, and my timeline frame rate by default would have been set to 24. So I'm just going to set this to 23.976. And then once I've got that done, now I can create my selects timeline. So you see it created a new timeline here. So I'm just going to double click on that just to make sure that I have it selected and it's pulled up down here below. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to all of my footage. So I'm going to mute this. Actually, I'm just going to mute it at the top right here. That way I can't hear any of my footage. And I'm just going to start going through what I think will make good selects. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on each clip and I'm going to set in and out points so that I can figure out how I'm going to use this footage. So I'm just going to watch this over again. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and keep from right there, set an in point, set an out point there, and then I'll just drag that footage below, go to the next clip, do the same thing. That looks like a good in point. And by the way, whenever you're setting in points and out points, you can use the keyboard shortcut I and O for in and out. Or if you have custom keyboard shortcuts, I personally use 4 and 5. But you can use the I and O keyboard shortcuts to set in and out points. So whenever I like get to here, I can press I, and then whenever I get to somewhere else in the clip, I can press O. That's the process. So I'm gonna get that just like that, in point. And let's see. I like it when he kind of walks away here. So that'll be the out point, and I'll just drag that below. And keep in mind, I'm in the cut tab. The cut tab is designed for cutting your footage, and so it works best if you're in this tab, at least for me. So I'm in this next, that looks like a good, yeah, perfect. So anytime that I'm in a longer clip and I've already found my in and out point, sometimes I like to go a little bit more to see if there's anything usable. And actually there is. So right here, he could see that I was actually filming and he was gonna grab that other espresso. And he decided against it when he saw I was filming. So I'll just go ahead and keep it just the way that I had it. Go to the next one. So you gotta kind of be fast. This isn't even in focus really, so I'm not gonna use that one. Let's see. I'm not gonna use that one either because it's not in focus. This is some good B-roll, just making some milk. I'm gonna get that second one actually. Oh shoot. Let's see. Pull that towards the end. Go back into this clip, make sure there's nothing else usable. All right. And then here, I think it's just someone grabbing their drinks. Yeah, that's enough. Gonna go through here. And by the way, you guys can skip forward at any time if you want. You won't hurt my feelings. I just find it valuable sometimes to see people go through the whole process, and so I'm showing the whole process. So here's another one. Actually, go. I actually like it up to the point where it loses focus, so right there. Got that one. That one. And so guys, we're just moving through all of our selects right now. So that looks good. Sometimes this process is fast, sometimes it's slow. I like to get video of just lifestyle behavior, like employees talking with one another. Looks good. He's Just walking over to the register to help out a customer. I'll get that. Go back in here, make sure there's nothing else usable. Wait, I think I used the wrong footage here. Yeah, I didn't. So I'm gonna wait for him to get right about here. And then address the customer. There we go. And then he's helping the customer right there. And so I'm gonna get some footage of that. And then here, got a close up. I always like to follow like the wide, medium, tight philosophy. So if I get a shot of someone from far away, I'll go in for a medium shot after that, and then I'll get a tight shot after that sometimes, if I have time. Got that. Well, here's an example of that. So I got some footage of him pouring some cold brew here from the tap, and then the next shot I have is more of a tight shot of him actually putting ice in the cold brew. There we go. And then an even tighter shot of putting some creamer in the cold brew. Got that. And then picking up the cold brew. Looks like a glass of milk to me. Some people just like their coffee like that, I guess. Okay, and then we got some merch shots. So I'll just get some random stuff here. I don't know what's going to be usable and what's not, honestly. Like sometimes when you're going through the selects process, you actually select multiple of the same clip, which is perfectly okay. All you're doing is finding what you think you'll use. That's the whole point of selects. This is going to be a slow-mo shot, probably. Yep. Just get some banger B-roll shots here. T-shirt shot. So when I shot these, I kind of envisioned that these would roll out to a beat at the end. I think I got that one too late. Yeah, sometimes I get my fingers messed up and I mark out when it should have been in and in when it should have been out. There we go. Almost to the finish line. Actually, looks like it got better exposure right there. Okay. Just interacting with the customer. Wait, did she look at the camera right here? She did. Can't use that. Use from right here. There we go. Actually, I can probably use more of this clip, I think. So I'll start from right here. No, actually that's a good amount. I'll leave it like that. I got another shot right here just because I saw him laughing. And I like that. I like it when people are happy on camera. Customer ordering a drink. And then this one's focused on the employee. Actually, I'll wait till she... Perfect. And then I got a shot of the drop zone, which is where you pick up drinks. I'll probably, I will probably crop this other guy out once I'm in the final edit. Okay, so now I've created essentially what is only the clips that I'm likely to use, which are selects. So now if I go back to my main file structure, now I have a selects timeline with only the footage that is what I've isolated as the best. Now this is going to be different for your project obviously, but now I'm going to show you how it's helpful to have a timeline of only the best footage. So now that I have this, I'm going to go ahead and create another timeline. And this time I'm going to create a timeline in whatever resolution that my final project is in. And so here it's just going to be the exact same resolution, but I'm just going to put final edit as the timeline name. I'm going to uncheck use project settings so that I can make sure my timeline frame rate is correct. And by the way, you can set this default in your project settings in DaVinci Resolve. I just always forget to do it, so I find myself going in here to manually set it. So now that I've got that set up, my timeline resolution is 1920 by 1080. I shot in 4K, but I like to deliver in HD unless it's like a really specific project that requires more. But most of the stuff that I make is for social media, and so 4K is a bit overkill. But now that I've got that done, I can go ahead and create. So now I've got two timelines here. I have my selects and I have my final edit. So if I select final edit, there's nothing in it. If I select selects, all of my best footage is there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over to my edit tab, just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and close my media pool, and I'm going to close my inspector for right now so that we only see our selects timeline. So I just have that up. So if you look at this little icon in the middle of your screen between your editing timeline and your monitors, if you click that, there's a button right under timeline view options that says stacked timelines. So go ahead and click that. And it won't do anything at the very beginning, but you'll see a little tab come up here with the name of your current timeline. You'll see a plus sign to add additional tabs. And then towards this other side, you'll see a little plus sign on the very right side. And so if you click that little plus sign, now it allows you to stack an additional timeline below the timeline that you just had open. So up top I have my selects open, and then at the bottom I can click this little drop down arrow and I can select from all of my available timelines that I have in this project. For right now I only have the other timeline that we just created titled Final Edit. So if I click that, now I have my Final Edit timeline stacked right below my selects timeline. And so now if I want to grab a piece of footage, all I have to do is grab it, pull it down, and the cool thing is it doesn't remove it from the selects timeline, it just copies it over to the Final Edit. So now I can kind of scrub back and forth to get different pieces of footage if I want, and it's not a big deal to do. Oh, I gotta link my timelines, there we go. And I can do that across the entire project because I went through the process of organizing my footage, creating selects, and now everything is organized so that I can quickly and efficiently pull footage into my Final Edit and produce the best possible video I could. So I really hope this helped. This is the process of creating selects and making it really easy to create a final edit utilizing only the very best footage that you've shot during your project. If this helped, let me know in the comments below. I plan to keep doing videos like this because, to be honest, I spend the majority of my time making things for other people, and this YouTube channel is basically just going to serve as an outlet for me to edit my own stuff, to shoot things that are just for me, and also to help the community, because I received a lot of help from a lot of really awesome creators, really awesome mentors during my process of building my company. And now I want to give back, and I want to help others who also want to build something similar or even something totally different. So again, I hope this helped. Catch you in the next one.